Watch this.
Good evening, Interworld. Sergeant Slack here from Banana Bomb Productions. We are back in World of Warcraft on my warrior sesquipedal for this, the patch 5.3 escalation PvP changes. Now, I decided to do this in a different video from the major changes for PvE and stuff because there's just so much of it and there's so much to talk about. Blizzard have apparently done a complete 180 on how they started out with Mists of Pandaria in terms of PvP and PvE gear and what they were doing with the whole thing, and it doesn't seem to make a great deal of sense, and it's all very new, and the next few weeks will be very interesting to see how it pans out. So in case you have literally no idea of what I'm talking about, we're going to go through the patch notes and we're going to talk about what that means. A blog titled blah 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 has additional information and reasoning behind the PvP changes. I read that, don't bother, it doesn't make any freaking sense. All characters now have a base resilience of 65%. So let's have a look at my gear. My PvP gear, got a bit of Tyrannical from Season 13, I've got Malevolent Season 13, I've got a couple of bits of Malevolent Season 12 in somewhere. Yes, there you go, not very much. So there, let's take a look at my stats then with this new change. My PvP resilience is 65.3 grand. Let me put my PvE gear on a sec. My resilience is 65. So my PvP gear, which granted isn't that well spec'd into resilience, that gives me 0.3. So all the resilience has been removed that was on weapons and armor and all that kind of thing, and it's been given to you as a base level. So I gain 0.3 for wearing PvP gear over PvE gear, basically. So that's an interesting change. So what does that mean? It means that PvE gear is going to be really overpowered in Battlegrounds, especially when raiding and the item level goes up and stuff like that. Yay! Or does it? Stick a pin in that, put it over to one side, we'll come back to that later. So all characters have a base resilience of 65%. Battle fatigue now reduces the amount of healing and absorbs by 45% up from 30%. So battle fatigue, this is designed to make no one person immortal, basically. If you're kind of going on and doing things and you're all piling onto one character, it shouldn't be possible for them to survive indefinitely against you. So I have no experience yet of how this works and how it changes stuff. I haven't done any PvP yet. PvP power conversion ratio to obtain 1% damage at level 90 has been changed from 265 to 400. Wow. So there's a lot of mathsy things that they're doing in the background to tweak things. The only way to get a gist of how this works is to go play, which I will be doing next. I will be doing an update video in another week or so, and then another one in another couple of weeks, because I'm really interested in this, because I've not been playing much in 5.2, and a lot of it is because PvP has been blowing quite a lot. So hopefully they're going to fix it rather than make it worse, but it'll be up and down a bit in the next couple of weeks, I think, as they get the data in off the servers. So basically PvP power has been nerfed. That's what you need to know. It's been nerfed and it's not as good. Where am I in PvP power? I'm 34.6%, which does plus 34 to my damage, but now there's a chance that PvP power being nerfed, it may be better to stack other things for your gemming and that kind of stuff. So PvP power bonus to healing is now based on class and specialization. So if you're a healer, if you're a resto druid, you receive 100% bonus to healing from PvP power. But if you're a damage specialization, like your cat, then you only get 70% healing from PvP power, which is good. It's going to make it more useful for healers and less useful for off healers, which is kind of what you want, really. Otherwise, if your off healers are as powered as your healers, then it's impossible to kill them again. No brainer. So hopefully that'll be useful. Everyone else receives a 40% bonus to healing from PvP power. So if you're a pally tank, then you get a 40% bonus to your healing from PvP power. Hopefully it'll make it more useful for the person for the tanks to heal themselves rather than wasting time healing other people around. So PvP items. Tyrannical gear has had its level increased to 496, up from level 493. Now this is to counteract the stuff that they've been doing with resilience. Basically, if you go into a battleground with level 502 gear, it will have PvE gear, it will have its stats reduced to the level of 496. So this is that thing we put a pin in earlier, where PvE gear is just going to come out and be better and better and better, and just trounce all over the PvP gear. Blizzard are insisting that they still want you to be using PvP gear for PvP. Even though they've been battling with this all throughout this expansion, this is what they're trying to do now, and this is how they're trying to do it. So everything's going to be limited to 496. Weapons and shields remain unchanged at 498, but I haven't got a Tyrannical yet, so I can't show you the item level on that. Season 13 Tyrannical Elite gear, which was for the people who had loads and loads of conquest points, and the new tier that was put on there, they've been decreased down to 496 from eye level 512. Resilience has been removed from most PvP there. It's still there. Resilience gems and enchants will continue to be available and remain unchanged, but they're not really as much use. It's probably better going with other ones. 4-piece PvP set bonus from Season 12 and armor sets that granted 1000 resilience now grant 1000 PvP power, and PvP power will remain exclusively on PvP gear, so you won't be finding it on PvE gear from raiding and things like that, which, yeah, I can see what they're trying to do. Whether it'll actually work or not is a different kettle of fish altogether, because I mean, looking at your weapon, yeah, it's going to be reduced to 496 if you go in with a 512 or something. But there's not really much. I mean, you get an extra little bit of PvP power, but that could probably be offset by a decent enchant. So is that 4,700 PvP power going to make that much of a difference? Who knows? The amount of PvP power and resilience on gems in the Mystic Coswheel have been reduced by 50% and a further nerf. Tyrannical weapons no longer have conquest and prerequisites to purchase them, so you can buy them first if you've been saving up your conquest points gear. That's good. Glorious Tyranny weapon enchantment now grants 600 PvP power instead of 400 and 200 resilience. There's a new weapon enchantment, Bloody Dancing Steel. Now, it's equivalent to Dancing Steel, shares the same visual effect as Glorious Tyranny, costs a scroll on the base enchant, and requires 2200 rating. Now, this is... But I saw Bajira with it, and he's got like a glowing red death samurai sword. It looks awesome. Go and check out his video and see what it looks like, because really freaking good. New on Spirit of Conquest for healer types, and Tyrannical Gladiator's Great Cloak now available as new prestige items at 2500 rating for 1000 conquest points. Big Zoc Torque Wrench has returned from their leave of absence, whoever he is. Oh, is that the thingy? Yeah. And Glorious Conquest Quartermasters have returned after refitting their wares, because their gear is now once again available. So I believe we will go and check this out now that your friendly neighborhood repair demon is back. He should be over here. I am, of course, talking about item upgrades, which are now once again available to us. That item cannot be upgraded. What about that one? No, Malevolent can't be. So Malevolent, that's already upgraded. No, it's not. So that's a season 12. So yes, that's pretty much how it works. You can't upgrade Tyrannical. You can't upgrade Malevolent Season 13, but if you have upgraded Season 12 Malevolent stuff, then you can upgrade it for the conquest points. That's interesting. I'm not going to press upgrade on that then, because I need them. I need them for a better weapon. So item upgrade has returned. So, but only for previous season, for season 12 stuff. So if you were thinking of upgrading all your new stuff, you're not going to be, basically. That's how that works. What else is going on in Pandaria. Oh, it's faced that way, so there's something going on in the background with all these people. Battlegrounds and arenas now have an eye level cap. All gear will be scaled down to 496. This is to account the PvE gear. To facilitate a more balanced team composition, players now need to select a role when queuing up for a battleground or rated battleground. So let's have a look. If I go to join random, it will now ask me to select a role, and here I can be tank or I can be deeps because of whatever I could do. So basically this is not like starting a dungeon where you need to have your 5-man team and you will only have that 5-man team. This is a floating point system designed to balance the two teams. So basically, if there's a horde team with 4 healers and there's and 2 tanks, and there's an alliance team with 4 healers and 2 tanks, the idea is that they will be put together preferentially and they will play sooner rather than later. So it's a balancing thing rather than a required roles kind of thing. So that's been done. That should hopefully be good and should take the pain out of those late night battlegrounds where the alliance seem to have 4 healers and everyone else is DPS and there's just you and the bots on your side. Once in battlegrounds, picking up the alliance or horde flag while in a rated battleground now increases damage taken by 50% as a tank and 20% for non-tank. So that's only in rated battlegrounds, RBGs, but that's quite interesting because it's designed once again to stop people from being unkillable, which has been a big thing that Blizzard are trying to combat this year. So there's some steps been added in the Dalaran Arena, and Either Storm starting platforms have been lowered, so hopefully if you rush in straight to flag you won't be half dead by the time you get there. The Void Binders are back. PvE item upgrades, PvP item upgrades we've already been through. You can now use items that are in Bank of Void storage for transmog, presumably without having to go and get them, which is good. Reduced the amount of Justice, Honor and Darkmoon Fur tickets needed to upgrade heirloom items. So get your heirloom items upgraded if you're leveling your alts, which now is a good time because they've reduced 85 to 90 by 30%. And then there's a lot of sort of individual changes to gear. But I'm not going to go through all those because that's not applicable to everyone and that kind of stuff. So that is the PvP changes for patch 5.3. What does that mean for you and your character? As a warrior, I am currently... just put that over my face there. I'm currently gemmed into PvP power. Just purely into PvP power, apart from some crit and PvP power. And it's now been nerfed. It's been nerfed significantly. So I'm thinking I will be going back to strength. I'm going to go back to strength and crit, which is a good thing, I think, because that's how I enjoyed that. When the game played like that, that was how I enjoyed it most. So I'm hoping that this will affect. It does mean I've got to regen, but thankfully I'm a dual crafter, so it won't cost me too much. So, yeah, I'm going to go for pure strength, and then I'm going to go for strength crit ones, because you could get... where is it? I've got one here somewhere. Yellow slots, which were... blue slots, I'm still going to strip with my strength and PvP power. Yellow slots, which I've currently got greens in, I'm going to go with strength crit. And red slots, I'm just going to go with pure strength again. See how that happens, how that works. Whether it will help or whether it will not. That's what I'm planning. I'm going to have a play with it and come back in a week and see how it goes. First thing I'm going to do in new patch 5.3 is none of the PvE stuff. I'm going to jump straight into the new battleground and record it for the channel and see how that goes. So, this is Sergeant Slack from Banana Bomb Productions. Thank you for watching this update and patch 5.3 PvP changes. Hopefully it was useful. Hopefully you gained something. And hopefully you will have a good patch 5.3. Because I'm hoping it's going to be good and it's going to be much better than the last one, PvP wise at least. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. Comment, like, subscribe if you did, and I will catch you next time. Ta-ra.